In today's video, we are going to talk about ICP, its recent price prediction, and of course, a couple of interesting tweets as well as charts for altcoins too. I need your support. Remember to watch to the end, like my video, share it, comment, and tap subscribe. But all right, let's have a look at ICP now. ICP is currently trading at $15.22 and is currently experiencing a little pump of 4.9% on a 24-hourly time frame. Market cap is currently sitting at 6.9, well, almost 7 billion USD, and 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 310 million USD. So as we can see over here on that chart, over here on CoinGecko ICP, price action is looking bullish, at least on a daily, but we are going to get into the chart quickly. Now let's have a look at the first piece of information. ICP has reached a major milestone with over 100K threshold ECDSA. Signatures, that adoption is coming, and obviously that is a very good piece of news to see on ICP. On top of that, as we can see over here, these are a couple of photos of celebrating Women's Day over here at ICP. Hub, we can obviously see how many ladies are working on the project, but why I'm showing you that, we can basically see how many people are constantly meeting up in terms of ICP. On top of that, we also have so much of collaborations with universities. That's another photo of the university in Indonesia, which is becoming a hub for Web3, which is very good. Now, something I believe is the most important for today's news, at least if we are going to look over here. Built on the internet computer, Nuens offer unprecedented scalability, able to accommodate a growing community of writers and readers. I'm not sure if you guys remember showing, but I was showing you that comparison of how things that are built or are going to be built on ICP are going to replace current social media. We saw alternatives to YouTube, alternatives to Gmail, etc. That is the first step of that adoption, that social blogging media that's built on ICP. That's very good. We are seeing and experiencing that adoption, but obviously that is coming slowly. I do know that we all want things to be much faster if it comes to ICP, but I do believe that our patience is going to pay off. Now check this DeFi on ICP. As we can see over here, DeFi is currently sitting at 38.2 million USD. If we are going to look at market cap growth in general ever since last year, for example, if we are going to look at month of October last year, that is basically what, around 5-6 months, then we clearly see that growth in terms of market cap. So pretty much from nothing, from 1.4 billion USD, ICP has grown to 7 billion USD, well, peaked. So let's have a look now at some ICP in terms of ICP. Being staked, as we can see over here, ICP is currently sitting at 47.8, so only 0.1% has changed in terms of ICP being staked. Now, one thing to note is that there's going to be an unlock of 3.2 ICP into the supply. That's going to be scheduled for March 11th in 2 days. Well, where I'm located. For some people, it's only 1 day. Now, let's have a look at some graphs over here. I do believe that the balance on exchanges is going to go higher of around 3 million USD. Now, the question is this going to impact the price negatively? Well, it all depends. It all depends on how much people are purchasing ICP and, of course, staking their ICP as well, because we see that that number doesn't really change necessarily. We see over here that it's basically hovering between 47.7 to 47.9. I do think that it possibly could impact the price negatively. However, you also have to remember that a lot of money is flowing toward old coins, and just because ICP hasn't pumped yet doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to pump. Let's have a look at the daily chart and let's see what's going on. As I was anticipating, we are going to fall off that triangle over here, and we are going to basically see a reversal over here. In my opinion, what is basically happening is that market makers are flushing these leverages over here and liquidating these traits. Now ICP looks definitely much healthier and stronger for a push toward the upside. So nothing bad really is happening. So as we can see over here, if I'm going to move that model, let's say that trend line over here and extend this, we have an ascending action over here, right? We are printing. Well, ICP is printing higher highs over here, and we broke above that triangle model as well as that resistance that leads us back to the previous all-time high, to the previous full cycle. We saw ICP at almost $17, and we are going to see perhaps a pushback before we are going to see a bigger price. Now, let's see how things are rolling in terms of RSI to potentially predict the price. If I'm going to draw the comparison in terms of the percentage over here on ICP, that's going to be 34. Well, let's call it 35. That's going to be our first way how to measure that. So 35, 36%. There you go. So that's going to be around $20. However, if I'm going to measure it that way, let's say give it or take, is going to put I.C.P.'s price above that major resistance level over here at $24. I still do believe that ICP is going to see a pump. However, that is very difficult to predict when exactly. I do believe that these are the last chance to accumulate some ICP before bigger price levels. I know that ICP doesn't really get a lot of hype at the moment because it doesn't pump, but probably once it's going to pump, people are going to FOMO into it. And that's going to be too late because other people might dump on them. Obviously, maybe not necessarily during that pump, but when ICP is going to reach prices of $100 or $150, that could be a bad time to get into ICP. Who am I to judge, right? All right, let's have a look at ICP in terms of monthly gains. As we can see over here, ICP printed 10% of gains in the last month of February. If we are going to look at the current month, we are almost at 21%. So I still do believe this is good. Obviously, it's not as great as Pepe Coin or Dogecoin or whatever, but it is what it is. Let's have a look at some altcoins. Well, sorry. First of all, let's have a look at the BTCE. As we can see over here, BTCE is entering that second phase of the bull cycle, and the BTC reached these previous all-time highs that led to the previous bull cycle. And if we are going to compare with all coins, we still haven't reached that top over here, and we haven't experienced that second breakout over here. So we still haven't reached that major resistance of all-time highs for all. And that's the reason why ICP is lagging behind. Well, one of the reasons I do believe. And if we are going to look at this over here from the standpoint of where we are at for all, we still have a lot of way to go because according to the Scalping Pro, shout out to the Scalping Pro, by the way, we can clearly see that this target could be around 2.5, perhaps up to 3 trillion USD. We still are quite early, I would say probably 30% in. So we have a lot of way to go. If we are going to look at that close-up chart, as we can see over here, the altcoin market cap is currently sitting at around 700 billion USD. Again, we still haven't reached that major resistance level over here, aka all-time highs. If we are going to look from the perspective of the Wall Street cheat sheet, according to the Scalping Pro, shout out again, we left that hope phase and we are entering optimism, believe, and then later we are going to see thrill and euphoria. And obviously ICP at those levels is going to look totally different, I believe. And if we are going to look from the perspective of the Bitcoin rainbow chart, we can clearly see that we are still in a yellow zone, which stands for hold. So we are still before halving for BTCE, and altcoins technically should see that major pump right after BTCE huge price. Action towards the upside. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching my video. Keep supporting my channel. See you in my next video.